During the third night in a row spent on the toilet, as my insides convulsively shake from spewing everything I've ever eaten, the revelation hits me. I've been poisoned. The execution is so elegant, so flawless that it's almost funny, but another bout of vomiting drowns out any mirth. The next morning, I clean out the entire kitchen, wrap everything in black plastic, and bury it deep in the communal garbage cans to shield the unsuspecting tenants from the collateral damage caused by the perpetrator's rage. Already out of the house, I realize that he probably knows where I'll be shopping. Picking a random direction, I walk, enjoying the cool winter air that soothes my exhausted insides. I wander through unfamiliar neighborhoods until I spot a small store with an unknown name. Inside, I hastily fill my basket with foods I've never tried, exotic jars of ethnic ingredients, and products I never thought I'd buy. Soy milk, tofu. My stomach eagerly awaits untainted sustenance. In a nervous haze, I prepare the food, trying to focus on the sizzling sounds and tantalizing aromas. The flavor is pure, like all the previous meals. I convince myself that the growing ache inside is just fear and anxiety, but as midnight falls, I find myself back in the dirty bathroom, giving all the day's efforts to the porcelain sewer. The next day, I dispose of the leftover food with the same thoroughness. Dining at restaurants across town, I rack up debt on my latest credit card. The elaborate scheme turns out to be smarter than I could have imagined, and despair grips me as I spend another sleepless night laughing and crying on the tiled floor. I imagine the algorithm at its disposal, perfect predictive models tracking my every move. Each attempt to outsmart it only entangles me further in its web. In desperation, I buy a candy bar from the vending machine, treating it as a talisman. At home, I fill the bath tube with roost-colored water, submerge the plastic rapid roll in it, and wring it out. A thin trickle of bubbles indicates that the foreign object has broken through the protective layer. Despite the piercing hunger, I decide to take one bite. Clenching my fists in my empty stomach, I imagine a legion of his followers infiltrating my life, injecting hypodermic needles into selected food packages. They disappear into the city crowd, always one step ahead. To break free, I must think differently and outsmart him. Entering my new life, I spend the day in my small apartment, organizing my thoughts and conserving energy. At night, the gagging begins, with only water and half-digested pills coming out. The realization comes that the pills are part of his plan. I flush the last of a dozen prescriptions down the toilet. On the third day, a surge of clarity and purpose overwhelms me. I must win or die. The rash grows deeper and his teeth loosen, but he won't be able to triumph for long. Collecting rainwater from the roof, I suspect an ingenious device polluting the plumbing. Sacrificing the bath tube, I rely on the rainwater, determined to find a way to eat. Over the next few days, the pieces of the puzzle come together. As I pull a wobbly molar from my bleeding gums, a revelation comes over me, a warm blanket of insight enveloping me from head to toe. The knocking of the tooth against the sink, I embark on another unknowing journey, drifting through the city on weakened and atrophied legs, fully aware of his watchful eye. My bold decision, however, is beyond even his influence. Choosing a house at random, I make one last attempt to confound the algorithm by turning around and selecting another dwelling on the opposite side of the tree-lined street. Examination of the mail shows that the sample is small, but it confirms the most important fact: one tenant. The unsuspecting tenant is stunned by the unexpected visit, and fear distorts his face as I slip inside. Overwhelmed with guilt and regret, I restrain myself, pin him to the floor, and deliver a swift blow with the crowbar from the folds of my jacket. No, I have to hold myself together. It's to his credit. He's brought us to this moment, and this poor man is just another victim. I quickly dispose of the meat, and memories of my mountain hunting years flash back with each precise cut. I allow myself a bite, and it's a feast for my depleted stomach. The taste of iron and mineral salts fills my senses like steam, and I let out a childlike cry of relief. Packing the meat into my backpack, I light the only candle on the top floor of the small house and ignite the gas stove. When I'm not home yet, a low rumble in the distance reaches my ears. The pulsing lights of fire trucks emphasize the black cloud in the sky. I sleep soundly for the first time in a month, my body recovering quickly as clean, untainted nutrients nourish my cells. Albeit not completely, but a few more meals and I will be ready to confront him again. I am now confident in my ability to defeat him. The algorithm can only predict my actions based on my past, limited by the norms and morals of the old world. That world is dead. I am a free man,